Afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Leading Women's Network for the month of May. Thank you. I would like to say a big thank you to our live audience for taking out time to join us today, and also our virtual audience. Thank you so much for joining. I'm sure your schedules have been busy throughout the day, but then you took out time to join us. We want to say a big thank you to you as well. So seated here with me today is my co-host, the ever beautiful and wonderful Dr. Debbie. And also our guest speaker today is an emotional wellness coach, and her name is Adetutu Afolabi. Our topic for this month is...
The topic for today is marriage once or need. It's one topic that a lot of people are actually interested in. And a lot of people, I'm sure they've started connecting right now, interested in the views and experiences that our coach have that she's going to share with us today. So I'm excited for this topic actually.
Okay, good. I'm sure most of us have burning questions to say, why do people get married? Is it even important? What's marriage for? So I'd like Mrs. Adetutu to tell us, why is marriage important?
Thank you very much. Marriage is important, and let's start from this view. Who originated marriage? God actually originated marriage because He does not want Adam and Eve to be extinct. So He wants them to multiply and fill the earth. And when you look at the scriptures, the Bible actually says that marriage is for procreation, because God wants godly children to be brought into the world and be taken care of by father and mother. Marriage is for companionship. Remember, Adam and Eve were in the garden, and God said, they said in the evening that they were with themselves, and God said what they did. So they were actually talking or gisting or doing something. So marriage is for companionship. And God also have put something in every one of us that, whether you know it or not, it's the sexuality of a child. Sexually involved with anyone. And if you, of course, you can have companionship without marriage. But for procreation and sex, God wants it to be done within the confines of marriage. I know that a lot of that in this world. Now a woman can actually do artificial insemination and have a baby. Or okay, if you don't want to do that, you can actually adopt a child and fulfill the need for motherhood and all that. I know that could be done. I know people are also helping themselves sexually, but we need to look at what God has to say. You have to do that by yourself. God did not create human beings to fulfill sexual desires on their own. He wants the sexual desire that you have in you to be fulfilled by another person. If you're a woman, He wants it to be fulfilled by a man. If you're a man, He wants it to be fulfilled by a woman. So that is so if you don't want children, if you don't want sex, you don't need marriage. But if you want sex, and if you look at what the Bible says with Paul actually says that for the person that is not married, he said it's good because their needs and no, their distraction is less. They don't have the time to be preoccupied with the cures, take care of their children, take care of their husband and all that. Their needs are just unto their God, and they just cooperate and just continue to serve God. So Bro Paul actually says that for people that do not get married, and that's why we have monks and we have some people in Catholic churches where they say they are married to Jesus. They actually do real marriage to Jesus and all that because they don't have to bother themselves with the cures and the stress and the emotional stress that marriage sometimes brings. Or they don't have to be they're careful about less things than we that are married. So either way you look at it, nobody's supposed to be forcing anyone to get married, really. It should be by your choice. I know that the society puts pressure on us. I know that by the time I was 25 or 26, when I said I wanted to go and do my master's, my brother actually called me and said, he said he wants to go and do it. He said, why not get MRS before MCS? And I was like, MRS? And they did like MRS filling station. I'm like, I don't want to own a filling station. And he said, no, become a Mrs. before you do your MSc, you know. So I know that society puts a lot of pressure on us when we get to particular age. When you tell your parents or your friends that you want to go for a wedding, even during wedding ceremonies, you'll see parents saying, see, you know, Ade, your own will come, and you know, that's a way of putting pressure on us that you should get married. But you need to choose what you want to get married for. And I think the why also determines why you should get married.
Yeah,
I've answered that question.
No, actually you have, because as in line with what you just spoke about now, as in, can you just tell us, like, because a lot of people would want to even know what's even the benefit of getting married, and what's the benefit of not, is there even a benefit for not getting married? If someone chooses to say, okay, I don't want to get married, I get benefit. Like you mentioned some about, okay, you quoted the scripture about what Paul said, but for some people, they want to know like the benefits of getting married and not getting married.
So let's look at, I'll still look at what God said in the Bible. You know, God one day in the evening wanted to come and say hello to Adam, and he saw the guy was lonely. He was alone. You know, the animals were together playing with themselves. There was nobody Adam would play with. He was just there. So marriage is an opportunity to have a companion, to have a friend. I got married because I want a friend. I don't want a friend that will be shared with another person. I want a friend that is mine. I own his time. He owns my time. So I can have you as my friend and we're best friends. But the moment you start having your boyfriend and you have to take care of your boyfriend or you have to take care of your husband, then you can't be there for me, honestly. So marriage, there's something about companionship. It's not easy to leave this world alone. You need someone's hair, someone's shoulders. You need someone to feel what you feel sometimes. As an entrepreneur, as a mom, I go through a lot of things. And sometimes I just want to download to someone. And that person is my husband. I want to download to. And you know, somebody to. So for me, and what the Bible wants is companionship. It's the first thing God saw in Adam was companionship. Then the second thing is he saw that the work he gave Adam was too much. And he said, you need an help that will help you to fulfill this purpose. So marriage is one place where people can become a team and conquer the world together. You know, two are better than one. So that when one falls, the other person will also pull the person up. You know, so marriage is that platform where you can't be alone. You can't walk the race. You can't do the race of life alone. This life can really be lonely. You can all be amongst everybody, and you'll still be lonely. Yeah. So you need someone to walk with you. So for me, companionship is number one. Because people get into marriage and babies wouldn't come. If they are friends and they enjoy each other's company, they're able to weather that storm together. Things go wrong in our lives. And you call it friends, and friends are not there for you because friends also have their own issues. Yeah. But when you're married to someone, then your issue becomes my issue. Then we learn to now see how we can solve it together. So companionship is one thing that is the beauty of marriage, and that is why one needs to get it right. Because you might see that some people are married and they don't have that companionship. It's because at a point or wherever they didn't get it right. If you get it right, the best person that can give you the support you need in life is your spouse. So for support, it's good to have. For companionship, for support, the marriage is good. Number 3, you can't create memories alone. So memories are beautiful with family. Yes, we have an extended family. Your extended family moves on. But there's one person that is your family. Yes, I also know that death sometimes cheats people of their memories. But you have someone you can create memories with. You have someone you can behave around without being ashamed. I can't fart here. I can fart if my husband is there. I can even fart or just I can play all kinds. There are some things I can't do here. But when my husband is there, I can do it with him because I can be naked and not ashamed with him. I can really create memories together. Memories are created. Fond memories are created with marriage as well. Apart from support, I've said support, I've said companionship. I've talked about memories. Life is about memories. We're going to leave this world with nothing, but you leave memories behind. And that is the beauty of marriage. For me, so when I say support is a lot. Support is emotional, it's financial, support is encouragement, support is, someone just being there for you. Support is giving your time for somebody. I can't tell Ayoluwa to give me all her time, but my husband has to give me his time when I need it. And that is what we call marriage, because somebody is there for you. So marriage is a beautiful thing. I know there's lots of so many things people say about marriage. You know, when some people get divorced, they will say that is to tell you that marriage is good. There's no perfect marriage because human beings are not perfect. There is no perfect marriage. Human beings are not perfect. But marriage is good. So the adjective to your marriage is determined by the people involved in marriage. That adjective to marriage, whether good or bad, is determined by the two people involved in marriage. You can say that it's the family that does it. It's still the ball still hangs at their shoulders or at their laps. Who are they? So marriage is a beautiful thing. God created it to be beautiful, but we determine the adjective to qualify it. What are the things marriage does not do? I really don't. Marriage. What are you said the benefits of marriage?
Of not getting married.
The benefits of, so when you look at the benefits of getting married, you look at the benefits of, you see, if you don't want to carry another person's burden to some extent, you don't need to get married because it's hard work as well. You're going to be meeting with a stranger and signing a contract with a stranger. Yeah. Even if you have done living partnership, the moment you get married, it's a different thing. And so you are going to sign a contract with someone to love the person for the rest of your life, to be committed to the person for the rest of your life. You're going to sign a contract that you don't even know the end. You don't even know how it will play out. Sometimes you don't even know the dynamics. Sometimes you read all kinds of books. And remember, the person writing the book cannot even picture every human being on earth. You cannot, so you're going to get there and rediscover who you are. And when you rediscover who you are discovering another person in the process of discovering yourself. It's a lot of work. Yeah. Honestly, it's a lot of work. So if you're not ready for the hard work, the marriage is not for you, because marriage is hard work. And see, don't get discouraged. If you want to be successful in your career, you put in the hard work. There is no success without sacrifice. And when I mean sacrifice now, I don't mean rituals. I mean putting in the effort, putting in the hard work. So marriage requires effort. It requires sacrifice. It requires hard work. It's not for the faint-hearted. Marriage requires you to be intelligent all the day. So when you're saying the benefits of marriage, you're a better person because you are married. And you could actually be the worst person because you're married as well. Because if you're involved with the wrong person, you could become a worse version of yourself. But marriage is meant to make you a better person, because the more accommodating you are, the more understanding you are, the more you build capacity to stand stress, the more you build capacity to relate with people of different shades and sizes. So marriage has really helped me to become who I am, because I am today, what I am today is not just work, it's also marriage with work. You know, even learning from my children, sometimes I'm like, so when I have more listening ears at work, it's because even the people that are younger than me have taught me sense. So when I'm at work, I listen, because I don't believe I know more than them. Because there are things they know now. They'll say, "Mommy, what's the meaning of this?" I'll say, "I don't know." "Oh, Mommy, this is it." I say, you went to a good school. You went to a better school than I did, so I don't know it. So that's what marriage does. It makes you a better person. But you could be a worse version of yourself as well if you enter the deal with the wrong person.
To that, society has actually put a ban or a stigma on single ladies. You know, sometimes you go to the supermarket and because you don't have a ring on your finger, somebody's just looking at you nasty. Even some people catcall ladies because they feel like there's no adeori on the person's head, you know, or there's no husband, or they say, why should I even talk to you in a respectful manner, because there's no man by your side.
Somebody's calling you madam.
Yes, why calling her madam? Exactly. So can a lady be fulfilled as a single person? Like, you don't necessarily, or you determined to say, I don't want to get married. I just want to, live the baby girl life forever.
Soft life. Can a lady be fulfilled like that? Okay, so truth about it is, see, marriage doesn't fix anyone. You can't, if you go into marriage broken. Okay, if you're going to marry carrying a lot of baggage, when you get into marriage, you're going to create baggages with your husband. So someone that goes into marriage with baggages, you don't believe in yourself, you have problems with self-esteem, you have problems with self-sufficiency, you have your insecurities shouting at you. You see, when you go to carry that baggage into marriage, because you are going to start another baggage, you are going to start creating another baggage with a man. That's why people collapse and just lose it. So a woman can be self-sufficient, because really, until now, where people go out to even ask a man out, before now, people are stranded because you're waiting for the guy to ask you out.
Yeah.
So how do you get married and when no one is coming? And that's one place I always tell everybody, we need to ask for God's favor in marriage. Really, I'm already doing that for my children as well right now, praying for God's favor for them, because when the Bible says a man shall not lack his mate, meaning there is someone for everyone. But sometimes the delay makes a mess of who we are, and it makes us feel that everything around us is not just right. You can be single and be comfortable. See, it won't stop the world from frowning at you. People will frown at you if you're doing well and you're not married. People will even call you prostitute because you're not married. Yeah. If you're doing well, you're driving a car and all that, people will say that what's the essence of all this car that you have when there is no child to pass it on. Yeah. People will say all sorts of things, but it shouldn't affect who you are. So every woman should build themselves up. With or without marriage, you are complete. Even those of us that are married, without marriage, I have to be complete. I have to be complete. So what happens to you if anything happens to your husband? What happens to you if you're divorced? Are you going to leave the world? Okay, you're not divorced. Your husband leaves you. Are you going to die? Yes, now. So a woman has to be complete in herself. A woman has to be complete in herself. We go into marriage to complement someone. You are complementing someone. Bible says a help meet for this guy. So you should be a ready help that can sustain that person, that can make that person's life better. So you can be single, you can flourish, you can become the best version of who you are. And please, the world will say all they can say. Skin Sonia, they sang a song, let them say. And I know it's tough as well, because sometimes it gets to us, but we need to be able to tell ourselves that it's not our fault. And the truth about it is, I said this 2 years ago too. If you're not married, if you see someone that you like to, you can initiate conversation. See, initiate conversation. Don't say that they said the man should come and toast you. Some men, their heart is failing them. Some men are afraid to ask you out. Sometimes we're the ones that will help a man even understand what he wants. I'm not saying throw yourself at a man. Be savvy enough to initiate a conversation. There is no place in the Bible that says that don't start a conversation. When you start a conversation, it's not waiting for the guy to toast you. You even know whether the guy is good enough for you or not. And you move on quickly to the next person. And sometimes we are the ones that will help a man see what he cannot see. Because some guys, they just have eyes, they can't see. Somebody is your friend forever. You need to let him know that, are we friends forever, or this friend can manufacture into something else? Don't just keep quiet and be waiting, please. If you see someone you like, so you might go to that person and the person has a relationship. Respect it. You might go to the person and the person is thinking of, was almost engaged. Respect the person. But don't just keep your mouth shut and say that they said the man must come first. You can initiate conversation. You can get into that space. It's like marketing. Honestly, go and read about marketing. This is a product. It has to get to the person that needs it. How does it get there? How does this product get there? I'll go out, I'll follow friends out, I'll mix with people. And when I'm in the gathering, I will network, I'll open my mouth and ask questions and relate with people. Because you have to know the content, not just the appearance. And when you see someone that knows the content, who asks for your number and wants to meet you again, somebody needs to be pushed. You might be the one to push. So don't just wait. But we can be single and fine.
Yeah, so in line with that, in terms of being desperate, for example, because the reason why I said that is because a lot of, not just women, but mostly women, they've gotten into marriage, entered marriages, and then that they've been abused or especially cheated. So let's talk about cheating, for example. Would marriage stop someone, for example, from cheating? Because some people, like maybe during dating, they go like, okay, maybe the guy cheated once or the lady cheated once, for example, and then they say, okay, when we get married, I will change, I will turn a new leaf. In fact, perfect. So my question is, would marriage actually stop someone from cheating, or able to make someone turn a new leaf from being abusive, especially for cheating? Would marriage actually change that?
Okay. So, marriage does not stop a lot of things. And marriage also change people. When and how sometimes is not known to anyone. But the fact that someone cheats on you when there is no commitment does not guarantee that will not cheat on you when there is commitment. Because the fact that we're dating and the dating is not just once in a while we see ourselves. No, we have made up our minds to see ourselves. We're dating. When you cheat on another person, for me, my interpretation is you're taking that person for granted. Number one. Number two, you are not considerate, because you know if I know that you cheat on me, I will be sad. That means my feeling does not matter to you. And so when people cheat on you during marriage, before marriage, it's also a reason for you to query the relationship you have. Because I know that a lot of people don't even want to leave their marriages even after someone cheated on them.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make them feel good about the relationship anyways. Some have the capacity to forgive and some people don't even have to. So when people cheat on you, you need to understand why. You say when you understand why, it's easier for you to know if it's a perennial problem or it's a distraction that happened. Or if that person does not have respect for you and is never going to be committed to the bigger thing that you want to do. So marriage does not stop cheating. If a man is used to taking people for granted, if a man is used to having his way, if a man is inconsiderate, if a man has ojukokoro. What is ojukokoro in English? If a man is
Greediness.
It's covetous. The Bible calls it covetousness.
Yeah.
If someone is covetous, the person is just, and it's funny now that before people used to think women do not cheat. The rate at which we know women cheat now is becoming alarming, and it's crazy. So it's not only men that cheat, both men and women cheat. And people that they are used to cheating before marriage are not likely. You know, when you have 3, 4, 5, 6 boyfriends, 3, 4, 5, 6 girlfriends before marriage, you're not likely to stop. It's difficult because you are not used to being committed to a particular person. You are used to lies. You are used to taking people for granted. You don't care about how someone feels about your actions. So it's likely that person continues. So it's not going to stop. So marriage does not stop cheating. But an individual can come to the realization that, oh, I've committed to love you. Why should I continue to make you unhappy? Then he begins to close his eyes. Because if your wife has a very big bumps, you still see someone that is bigger. If your wife is very fine, you see someone that is finer. So you have to make up your mind. And the same thing happens to a woman. Your husband is this, you see someone that is better. You have to make up your mind that I've committed to this person, to love him alone, to take care of him alone, to not make him feel unhappy. Then you do not cheat. So some people change because life deals with them during the process. But most people, marriage does not change people most times. They are who they are. So sometimes you feel that, oh, now that he's married, he's not showing true color. People have been showing you true color. You are the one that you are not seeing the right shade of the color. So when marriage now comes, your eyes now clear. So it's not that people just show, no, you were not seeing the shades of the color they were showing you. Marriage just opened your eyes to see the shades, and that's why you thought the person has changed.
Ma, so what about open marriages and what they call them, partnership, or is it cohabitation? So people that just cohabit and then they live for like that for years. They are used to it. They prefer, even about friends with benefit, they are used to it. So they made like a mutual agreement that, oh, we would not get married, but we live like husband and wife, or people in open marriages.
Okay, so the standard of marriage is high. And once there is a standard, human beings try to devise a way to lower the standard. Cohabiting with someone and open marriage is a way human beings are lowering the standard of marriage. Marriage is a game of exclusivity. It was created for exclusivity. Two people. Yes, in African setting we have polygamous marriage, and because I'm from a polygamous home and my dad does not see any reason why he's supposed to have a, but of course the woman going into that relationship also knows that that's the kind of person they got married to. But marriage truly is a game of exclusivity. So when we begin to have open marriage, and then in Africa people cohabit and have children, and I know people that after 25 years their husband will now go and buy all the necessary things and formalize their marriage. But it's also an opportunity not to be committed to a purpose. You see, the standard of marriage is high. Can you imagine? You're loving one person all the days of your lives, whether she's thin or fat, whether she's yellow or she turns dark, whether she's sick or she's well, whether she becomes a better version of herself or she becomes a worse version of yourself, you are committed to continue to love that person. That is why it takes God to really be successful in marriage. It's not easy. Just like some people say that, why should I be eating rice every day? You know, it's not about eating rice every day. If this person, if you have rice every day, you can make different servings of rice, up to 15 or 20 servings of rice, so that it is exciting. So open marriage and all those things are people's way of lowering the standard of marriage, removing commitment to one person. The exclusive commitment that was created in marriage is an opportunity to remove it and do something else, and that is not marriage, because it defeats the purpose of exclusivity, of having you for myself year on year, month on month, days on days, till the rest of my life. So I don't think God supports open marriage. Human beings support a lot of things. Our culture and everything has defeated a lot of things happening around us, because we always want to have a way. It's like taking one way. It's faster, but last man might catch you and you pay for it. So a lot of people are also paying for this open relationship that you're saying, because the man doesn't mind the open relationship, then the woman does open relationship and becomes pregnant. They are now angry that you have to take care of another man's child. We asked for it. It's a consequence. You have to deal with it. So that's why I believe on open marriage.
All right, thank you very much, Adetutu. So please, a big round of applause. I'm sure we've learned so much about marriage, and if it's important or if it's a need or a want for us today as women. I'll be taking 2 questions from our live audience so that we can also get your insights, or we can give you clarity on some of the questions that you have. 2 questions. Anybody from the audience who has a question concerning marriage, if it's a need or a want?
Feel free to ask your questions. Nobody's going to judge anyone.
Yes, and like anyone can answer your question. You can direct a question at me, you can direct a question at Dr. Debbie,
Most likely
to talk to you
direct
from
it
a
to the
medical
guest.
aspect, and you can also direct a question at our coach. Okay, I have one question here. Someone sent in a question here. So we have, can marriage box or limit a woman's personal growth?
Marriage can. Marriage can, because marriage is tougher for women. Because most times you have to choose between your career and family. And for men can get away with less family, you know. He doesn't call his parents, he's rarely at home, the woman does all the things at home. But a woman can't get away with it because of the cultural nuances that a woman has to take care of the home, take care of the family, fulfill her roles in the home. So marriage can be limiting. People that are abroad, because in Nigeria we can even have a maid from some of these states, and you know, they come into it's cheap to have a maid in Nigeria or have a nanny in Nigeria, but for people that live abroad, it's not cheap. So a woman has to stop working for some time just because you want to focus on raising your children and raising your home until maybe the last child is 12, or when the last child can go to school. That's when you can now start, you know, you now go and jump start and start over all over again. So marriage can be limiting. When I started running my entrepreneurship business, I had to close 2 o'clock every day for several years. It wasn't fun, but I didn't like it too, because there was limits to the growth I could enjoy and experience. By 2 I had to cut off, but it's what I wanted. I just wanted my children to look like me. I want their nuances to be my nuances. I want them to behave like me. I don't want them to behave like someone else that I've hired to train them or to be with them all the time. So it was the sacrifice I had to make. So marriage can be limiting for women. It might not, the earlier part of marriage might not allow you to express yourself the way you want to. And if you want to go all out to express yourself, having children and all that, some things will suffer. Some things will suffer. We have children that don't even really, we have mothers that don't know their children. Let me put it that way. Let me not even say children not knowing their mother. Mothers that don't even know their children. You know, their children act and they're like surprised. They're like, really? And we have parents that have lost their children to depression and some other things just because nobody was there to pay attention. Remember, the man believes that the woman should pay attention. So it could be limiting. Marriage could be limiting. It's the earlier part of marriage, because you have to juggle everything together. So that's why I say that a woman has to define what success means to her sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, and it's good you marry the person that will not overload you with the burden of taking care of the family and providing for the family. When you combine that two, there's no way you'll be happy. There's no way you'll be happy. Something has to give way. You understand, for you to be able to be successful. So that's why choosing right is very important for a woman, because that initial period that requires a lot of sacrifice has to be done well. That answer you.
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
sure
you did actually.
Dr. Debbie, do you have questions?
Okay, so I actually have a question. So my question is this, relating to what you asked now. So mine is, okay, the person is married. Can children actually change or affect relationships in marriage? Like, especially when at the beginning or at the end, at what time, or in general?
Children have destroyed. Children in quotes have. The pressure of raising children has broken so many homes and marriages, because children come with. That's why a man has to be complete himself. You see, some men are competing with the love of their wife because of the children. Because a man has to be complete in himself, really. Children comes with some children is 6, like when they're coming from heaven, like nobody gave them attention in heaven. So when they come into your world, it's not irrespective of whether they are boy, whether the child is a boy or a girl, the person is an attention-seeking child. Yeah. He cries, and you know, so you're not sleeping well, you're stressed, the guy wants attention, and you're like, I cannot come and die. You know, sometimes a woman will just be, you know, sometimes because of that child, a woman has postnatal depression.
Yes.
And she's just a different person. And the only thing the husband is saying is the child. Meanwhile, the woman is dying. So when you get married, we also need to make up our mind when we're introducing. It's just that we don't plan things in Africa, you know. You just want to have the baby when you're married. The two of you have not even gotten a hang on who you are. You have not seen yourself. Then you now brought a third party immediately. I'm telling you, the child is a third party. Yes. So sometimes we need to discover who we are. Even sometimes some people don't even know that they have short attention span. Some people don't even know they get angry easily. Some people don't even know that the way children cry irritates them.
Yes.
Some people don't know that, and you know, you're combining all that. In fact, it starts with pregnancy. Pregnancy has not been somebody. I remember my first pregnancy, my husband said, I'm forgetting everything. I said, okay, I bought a book that I'll write. I will now not know where the book is. And you know, so it starts from there. Then you're complaining. Then when they take the light, I'll just say, I want to die. No matter that moment they take the light, he has to go and put on the generator for me, because the way and honestly, it feels as if I wanted to die, because it feels as if all the air in the room just went through my nostrils and there's none again. And it's very, very stressful for someone that's gone to work and you're waking him in the middle of the night almost every time to go and put on the generator. If he does not put it on, he will not sleep. He will not sleep. And the stress starts from there. You're like, this pregnancy self, you know, the man is like, this pregnancy self, let the baby drop. Then the baby will drop. Then you now realize that the pregnancy is phase 1. The baby is phase 10. So children can break homes. I don't want to say children can break home, because we invited them, really. Our inability to manage the arrival and the nurturing of children can actually break our homes, because it requires a different setting, different wisdom, different capacity to manage them, and most people lose it. And you know, somebody has a child, the child is 11 months and another one comes, you know, just 3 months after you have rested from the childbirth, another pregnancy comes, and that puts pressure on the newlywed, and it requires a lot of energy, so some people have gone their separate ways today because they've not been able to even dimension where the problem started from. You know, if you are able to dimension where the problem started from, you know, oh, it's the arrival of these children. No, so what didn't we do well? I became cranky. I became stressed. Someone that is complaining about the price of diapers. Then you now say, I'll say something. I'm pregnant. The guy will not even come close for the next 3 months. What? You know, it's like, are you okay? Are you a child? Can't you take care of yourself? Can't you manage yourself? What is wrong? And that is the beginning of verbal abuse in that home. That's the beginning. And you hold grudge against him for the way he treated you because you got pregnant. And you, the only thing you're saying is it not a child? Is it me that impregnated myself? It happens.
Yeah.
So the burden of raising children could actually break homes.
Yeah.
It could actually break homes, and that is why sometimes as women, see, a man will not plan for you. You have to do the planning.
Yes.
A man will not plan for you. A man wants to feel good and fire. You have to know when the firing is safe and when the firing is not safe.
Yes.
And you need to protect yourself because it's about you as well. Going into labor room almost immediately, not getting your body back, not getting yourself, managing the child, it's a child that is still crying, you are having another pregnancy, and oh my God, sometimes I just feel for those women as well because it's sometimes
Could be a mistake. So thank you, Coach Adetutu, for your invite her. Sometimes she's always very busy. You say, I'm working on my PhD, guys, should free me. Okay, I'll make time. And she comes with the fire. She comes with the vibe. That's why we love her. Please, another round of applause for her. Thank you so much. And yes, I would like to say a big thank you to every one of you seated here. I know you are very busy. I know some of you have deadlines and you all made it out here today. I want to say a very, very big thank you to you. Please put your hands together for yourself. And yes, some of our friends joined in virtually. So I would like to say you should please put your hands together for yourselves and put your hands together for them as well. Yes. So your friends in-house are clapping for you. Thank you very much for joining. And with this, we want to say a very big thank you to everyone for joining and taking out time. To my co-host, I love you. To my guest, thank you so much. Yes, she wants to say something again.
I know that I'm a Christian and I believe in God. I believe in God. I believe marriage originates from God. Marriage is God's idea, 100%. And we need to ask God on how He wants us to grow. Especially from the beginning, not even when He gets into marriage. From how, when, where. And one of the ways to attract that is to ask for His favor as well. You see, you are going to spend the rest of your life with a stranger. Honestly, stranger that now becomes so big. Forget all these diseases, I love you, that happens before marriage. You should know the guy here. So when you get into it's different. It's not, it just calms down. That's energy, that's butterflies in the stomach just calms down. And the real world. So it's good to marry your friend. And in marrying your friend, you need God's favor to order your steps as well. So we can actually pray for favor. If you don't pray, you might not say, give me that man, give me this man that has big head, small head, tall, dark, and handsome. But you can ask God to give you favor to marry your friend. When the issue of life comes, the thing that sustains most relationships is friendship. Friends knows how to communicate. Strangers do not communicate. Friends know how to communicate because friends can, the competence to speak the language of the other person resides in the two people. So ask for favor, and if you don't do anything, marry your friend. If you are not free with the person, if you cannot fight with the person, if you cannot abuse the person, if you cannot put the best head like this, if you cannot say shut up, if you cannot play and be real with someone, don't bother. Because all those facade and pretense, they are just going to crumble during when you now step into marriage. And those are some of the things that makes marriage now looks difficult. There are so many things. You know, marriage is like cooking soup. Some people put only for there, it will still be sweet. Some people put for snail, this very winkle, it will still be sweet. So you know, so some people just put salt, it will still be sweet. Some people put salt, put maggi, and it will be still be sweet. So marriage, what makes marriage sweet is a lot of things. But the sweetness in your marriage, it's a lot of sweetness in my marriage. So you can't copy and paste the marriage. In fact, there's a plagiarism in academic. You can't do plagiarism in marriage. What works for me might not work for you. But you can look at the concept and adopt it. And say, so why did they do this thing? And you are not adopt it in your own context. So you can't compare. So don't compare people that are very friendly. They are friendly outside. When they get to it, they get themselves cross. Yes, it's you that you don't know. But that's what happens in their lives. So thank you very much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for this opportunity. I will not take it for granted.